Coming up, History News This Week, episode 28. Namaste friends, my name is Shilil Subramanian Payamal and you are listening to the Histology podcast. Welcome to the 28th episode of History News This Week. Please note that History News This Week will be online every Sunday at 9:30 pm Indian Standard Time, that is 4 pm GMT. This week I have 7 interesting pieces of news items from the world of history and archaeology, followed by 2 wonderful articles. Let's start. First, archaeologists discover previously unknown ancient language. Archaeological research in the Middle East is revealing how a long-forgotten ancient civilization used previously undiscovered linguistics to promote multiculturalism and political stability. The groundbreaking discoveries are also shedding new light on how early empires functioned. Ongoing excavations in Turkey, in the ruins of the ancient capital of the Hittite Empire, are yielding remarkable evidence that the imperial civil service included entire departments fully or partly dedicated to researching the religions of subject peoples. Second, over 3.5 crore pages from history now available at click of a mouse. The National Archives of India, custodians of some of the country's most valuable manuscripts and historical records, has digitalized over 3.5 crore pages, among them the private papers of the nation's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Third, Titanic dinner menu sells for £84,000 at auction. An evening dinner menu for first-class passengers on board the RMS Titanic has sold for £84,000 at auction. It lists the dinner including oysters, beef, spring lamb and mallard duck served on the evening of 11th April 1912. Fourth, no scientific evidence that ancient human relative buried dead and carved art as portrayed in Netflix documentary, researchers argue. There is no convincing scientific evidence behind the extraordinary claims that the ancient human relative, Homo naledi, deliberately buried their dead and engraved rocks deep in a South African cave around 300,000 years ago, a group of archaeologists argue in a new commentary. Fifth, Adopt a Heritage 2.0, big companies keen on holding the fort. 2 months after launching its innovative scheme, Adopt a Heritage 2.0, the Archaeological Survey of India has received queries from nearly a dozen corporate houses about supporting monuments including the Red Fort, Humayun's Tomb, Qutub Minar and Agra Sen Ki Baoli in Delhi, the Hampi Museum, Rajasthan's Chittorgarh Fort, Hyderabad's Golconda Fort and the Chauset Yogini Temple in Odisha. Sixth, archaeologists find network of hidden megastructures using satellite imagery. A study analyzing satellite imagery and aerial photography was conducted by researchers from University College Dublin working with colleagues from Serbia and Slovenia. The team found over 100 previously unknown sites belonging to a complex society in the landscape of Central Europe's South Carpathian Basin. 7th, cult temples and sacrificial pit unearthed at ancient Roman camp in Germany. Archaeologists have unearthed the remains of 2 Roman temples and a sacrificial pit in Germany. The building remnants, located at the site of a former Roman camp known as Haltern in northwestern Germany, are the first known instances of temples found at a Roman military site, according to a translated statement. Now, coming to the 2 articles. First, power and populism in ancient Greek courts. In ancient Greece, the least dangerous branch of government, the courts, wielded serious political power. Second, in pictures, the discovery rewriting Europe's past. A series of discoveries is revealing that Europe's first inhabitants settled in a remote and rugged corner of Grenada over 1.4 million years ago. Latest history book release of the week. The Explorers Club, a visual journey through the past, present and future of exploration, edited by Jelf Wilser, is a pick of the week. Discover the extraordinary history and thrilling frontiers of exploration with this gorgeously illustrated guide from the Explorers Club, the esteemed home of the world's most prominent explorers. The discovery of the North and South Poles, the summiting of Everest, the moon landing, the largely unknown birth of climate change science. These are just some of the stories from the Explorers Club, the organization that, since its inception in 1904, has pushed the envelope of human curiosity. History Podcast Recommendation of the Week. Sawbones, a marital tour of misguided medicine hosted by Dr. Sidney McElroy and Justin McElroy, is a pick of the week. If you have a strong stomach, want a funny podcast and love a medical marvel or two, then Dr. Sidney McElroy and Justin McElroy's podcast should be on your list. The two take a tour through the weird and wacky history of medicine. Dr. McElroy revels in the oddities, while her husband, popular podcast host Justin McElroy, injects plenty of humor into this often gross narrative. I will provide links to all the news items, articles, book and podcast mentioned above in the show notes. Please feel free to check them out. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the History News This Week. Hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check histology.com for book reviews and interesting tidbits from the pages of history. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and take care. Bye.